I think acting's been probably the hardest thing to crack in, to give myself permission to do, perhaps. And I don't know if that's just ingrained in me from like family or life or whatever, or it's just pretty common. Like it's not portrayed as a thing that you're going to be super successful at it and it's going to fulfill your life and all that. We always get the horror stories of, the best in the business still having a hospo job and whatever.
Definitely.
But I think if that deters you, then, you've got more work to do. That fear. So for me, acting, I've been completely fearless in when it's my own shit.
Yeah.
So at uni, I did this piece. I don't even know what the hell I was thinking, but it was a container fest. So all of these performances were done in shipping containers.
Ooh.
And so the stage is really small, but you have to obviously make the piece for the space. And I did this bizarre, I suppose it's performance art, I don't know. There were no words. I didn't speak. But it was like I was on stage and then I had this giant mound of meat, and then I had this moment where I was gorging myself on this giant mound of thing, and this crazy classical music was playing, and it was meant to be like I had this sack of flour and it said what did it say? Violence or something. It was about it was about sex and violence in media and art. And
Wow.
I was kind of going on the metaphor of us gorging ourselves until we are sick and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's so bizarre. And that's right. And then I got my friend who was a plant in the audience to stand up and be like, this is fucked, and like they were taking photos, and then I go up to them, drag them on stage and then slit their throat and then keep eating.
Whoa.
Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? But I think that's the confidence you have when you're young. And so acting for me now has been like, I can't really go back to that because it was so bold and so like, I don't know. I just haven't invested in that journey to become an actor. And I think it's because now my standard is so high now. I still love doing it, but in my mind I've got that thing that it just is harder and it requires more of you because I want to go to that heaps deeper level. Whether before I was like, I'm in a musical, this is fun, you just dance around, it's no big deal. But now I'm like, if I'm going to act again, I want to be unrecognizable, I want to be like a completely different person. I want to get really into that character. So I haven't like touched it in a while. I don't know. Like I think you get to a point in your creativity where you don't want to do gigs anymore. You don't want to just do like, I've never done gigs. I've never been paid to act. So it's easy, but I don't want to do projects that aren't mine, that aren't exactly what I want to be doing at that point. I don't look at things as an opportunity to try it, So I'm getting really picky now that I'm a bit older. Directing's the same, except directing requires so much more of you, I would say, in a different way, in that you're there supporting everyone else in the project. And so same thing, I don't do directing jobs that I don't 100% believe in or am obsessed with. And so, I think, so I've been talking for so long now.
No, I love it.
I think your question was about how does it keep you up at night and stuff like that. And I think I'm very snobby in the work that I do, in that if it's not a concept that I'm thinking about all night, every night, I won't do it. And I think I love that feeling, that like obsessive feeling that, you go through your day and it brings you back to that moment where the character does this or that piece of music you could use or whatever, and you're just in this entire world of it and it just consumes you. That's the work I make. That's the work I want to make. And so I suppose I do less than most people. But also it's not my full-time job, and I think that's nice because I've got this place that I can still be creative in. And so when an idea or a concept comes along, that I then can have that space to grab onto it and to do it and pursue it. But I'm not interested in auditioning for a bunch of stuff, and I'm not interested in like putting my name out there as a director and being like, here, come do our showcase, or we've got a concept for this, Oklahoma or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds
That's
like
not why I do it. I don't do it for the money, I suppose.
Yeah.
I do it for my own satisfaction, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a good thing I don't do it for the money because you don't get paid much, like there's not that much in it at this level.
Well, it's really hard as well because that's in all creative industries. When you're still you've done these incredible projects that so much passion and love has gone into it, but if it hasn't hit the viral market or it hasn't hit the celebrity market for whatever reason, you're still at apprentice stage even though you are beyond apprenticeship.
Yeah, and I think that's hard to move out of that stage, but that's where you really need a mate who's a really great publicist or producer, because even work I've done, I didn't even record it. I was just I'm just going to do it. It lives in the moment and then it dies, and that's why I love theatre, because that's the purpose of theatre, that it is of the moment, of that time. But as far as your career goes, you have to record stuff. You have to publicize. You have to get reviewers, and you look at other people and, I was looking at Fringe Festival this year, and some of the marketing these artists do, I'm just blown away. I'm so impressed. It's amazing.
It is a full-time job.
It's a full-time job, and you think, someone has done that for you because you either pay them or they believe in your work. And I just think it's so amazing what they're able to do.
It's so amazing. It's so amazing.
Publicity is such a different game. And I think when you're an artist, if you're trying to do that side as well, it really takes you out of the moment. And all the shows I've done producing as well. And it does take you out of it. It really takes up your time, and it really takes you out of that beautiful flow, obsessive moment that you get to be in when you're the creative.
Yeah, you're acting upon analysis as opposed to inspiration.
Yeah, and also the art becomes about who's coming instead of what the piece is.
Yeah.
And that hurts me so much. It hurts my little soul because you get upset and you sort of beg your friends to come and support you and all of this stuff, and a lot of the time it's because you really believe in the show, but then the other part of the time is, you need bums on seats, otherwise it's just not a good night out.
Right, it's half and half.
Yeah.